Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're wading into the world of AI. Buckle up because this one's going to be, well, it's going to be a wild ride. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we're talking about potentially the biggest shift in, well, in everything really, since, maybe the internet even.
Exactly. And to guide us through this AI revolution, we're diving deep into, well, into this article that, frankly, paints a pretty intense picture of what the future could hold.
Yeah, no, it's definitely thought-provoking, that's for sure. It doesn't shy away from the big questions like, are we all about to be out of a job?
That's actually a good place to start. This article and a lot of experts are saying AI could replace almost half, yeah, 50% of all current jobs within a few decades. That's huge.
Huge doesn't even cover it, right? I mean, think about it. We're talking about research from MIT, from OpenAI, serious institutions, and they're saying this isn't science fiction.
Right, like it's not just robots taking over factories, although that's definitely part of it.
Oh, absolutely. Those robots are getting smarter and faster every day. But what's really interesting, at least to me, is how AI is going to transform industries that, well, that we don't normally think of as, robot territory.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, take the law, for instance. Imagine AI lawyers pouring through thousands of documents in seconds, crafting arguments, even, maybe arguing cases in court.
AI lawyers going head to head in court. That's a wild thought.
Yeah.
And I guess it's not just lawyers, right? This article even mentions doctors, artists, like, are any of us safe?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer, well, it's complicated. Some experts say, yeah, we're on the verge of a massive job displacement, like bigger than anything we've ever seen.
Okay, so let's say worst case scenario, that happens, then what? What happens to all those people?
Yeah.
This article actually uses a really specific example. It talks about call centers, like in the Philippines, where it's a huge part of their economy.
Right, and it's not just the Philippines. Tons of countries rely on those call centers. But imagine, like the article says, what happens when you have AI-powered customer service bots that can speak any language perfectly, work 24/7, and don't need, bathroom breaks?
It's efficient, but yeah, that's a lot of people out of work. So what can we do? I mean, does this article offer any solutions?
It does, actually. It talks about things like massive retraining programs, teaching people new skills that are, well, that are AI proof, so to speak.
Like coding AI, I guess.
Mm.
Irony, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe even more creative fields, things that AI, at least for now, can't really replicate. But the article also mentions another interesting idea, a universal basic income.
Okay, so like everyone gets a paycheck, even if they're not working. How would that even work?
Yeah, it's a big idea, and it's definitely controversial. But the basic idea is that as AI takes over more and more jobs, we need to find a way to make sure everyone benefits from that increased productivity, not just, the people who own the robots.
It's like a whole new social contract for the age of AI. But okay, that's a conversation for another time, maybe.
Oh.
Let's stick with the job displacement thing for just another minute.
Yeah.
This article mentions Hollywood.
Mm.
Like, imagine telling Spielberg that the next Jaws movie was written by an algorithm.
I know, right? Or what about actors having to learn Python instead of lines?
Is that really where we're headed? Like, will we even need actors anymore?
Yeah.
Or directors? Or I don't know, anyone?
Well, it's not quite that dire yet. I mean, we've got a long way to go before an AI can direct a movie like, well, like Spielberg, but it's definitely having an impact. I mean, think about special effects, for example. A lot of that is already being done with AI.
That's true. And I guess if an AI can write a screenplay or even direct a movie someday,
Yeah.
that means new jobs will be created too, right?
Yeah.
Like AI programmers, I don't know, therapists, who knows?
Exactly. It's about adapting, evolving, learning to work alongside these new technologies. But, and this is a big but, that transition, it's not going to be easy. And for a lot of people, it could be really, really tough.
Especially if it happens too fast, right? Like our systems, our economies, our societies, they need time to adapt.
And that brings us to another big issue. This article raises economic disruption. Like, what happens to the global economy when AI starts doing more and more of the work? And are some countries more vulnerable than others?
Those are the big questions, and they're not easy to answer, unfortunately. I mean, we're talking about uncharted territory here. But one thing's for sure, this AI revolution, it's not just about technology. It's about all of us and how we choose to shape the future together.
It really does feel like we're on the edge of something massive. I mean, we throw around the word revolution a lot, but this AI thing, this feels different.
It is different. It's
Yeah.
not just a new gadget or a new app.
Yeah.
This is potentially a whole new era for humanity. And like any new era, it comes with its share Well, challenges. Let's
Eh,
say that.
Challenge is one word for it.
Hmm.
This article, it actually uses another word, arms race. And it's not talking about nukes this time. It's talking about AI dominance. Right. And it's
Yeah.
not hard to see why. I mean, think about it. Whoever cracks the code on AI, whoever builds the most powerful AI first, well, they're going to have a huge advantage in pretty much every aspect of, well, life.
Economically, militarily, even culturally.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how much influence the U.S. has had just from being a technological powerhouse.
Exactly. And now imagine that on steroids with AI. It's no wonder countries are scrambling to be top dog.
Yeah.
And this article specifically calls out the US and China as the main contenders in this AI race.
Which makes sense. They've got
Yeah.
the resources, the talent, well, everything you'd need to pull it off.
Mm,
But they're going about it in very different ways, right? I mean, the article talks about how China's got this more centralized approach to AI development.
right. It's more top down, or more government led, which
Yeah.
has its pros and cons, of course. On the one hand, it means they can move faster. They can pump massive amounts of money into research. They can collect data on a scale that we can't even imagine here in the West.
But on the other hand, there are those concerns about privacy, about control, about what happens when you've got that much power concentrated in the hands of, well, a few people.
Those are the big questions, and unfortunately, we don't have any easy answers. But let's not get bogged down in the geopolitical stuff just yet, because there's another layer to this AI arms race that's even more mind-blowing. And that's the idea of AGI, artificial general intelligence.
Okay, I'll admit it, AGI always sounds a little too sci-fi for me, like something out of the Terminator, yeah.
Mhm.
But this article makes it seem like it's not just science fiction anymore.
It's not. We're talking about AI that can learn and adapt and solve problems in ways that we can barely even comprehend AI that could potentially surpass human intelligence in every way.
Okay, so if that happens, then what? I mean, what happens to us? Do we become like pets to our AI overlords?
I hope not. But seriously, the implications of AGI are huge.
Hmm.
And we're only just beginning to grapple with them. I mean, imagine an AI that can not only write a screenplay, but can actually understand and appreciate art and literature, that can compose symphonies, that can think for itself.
That's a lot of responsibility to put on a bunch of ones and zeros.
It is, and it's why the stakes in this AI race are so high. Because whoever develops AGI first, well, they're essentially holding the keys to the future. And it's not just about technological dominance anymore, it's about the future of our species.
So are we headed for a utopia or a dystopia? I mean, is AI going to be the best thing that ever happened to us or the worst?
Honestly, I don't think anyone knows for sure, but I will say this, the future is not predetermined. We still have a choice in how this all plays out, and part of that choice is staying informed, asking tough questions, and making sure our voices are heard.
Okay, so we've talked about the economic impact of AI, potential for job displacement, the global race for AI dominance, and now we're talking about the very survival of our species. Are we maybe getting a little ahead of ourselves here?
Maybe. But here's the thing. Even if AGI is still a ways off, AI is already having a profound impact on our lives. And one of the most concerning aspects of that impact is how it's affecting our democracies.
Yeah, that's something this article really dives into. The idea that AI could be used to manipulate public opinion on a massive scale through things like deepfakes and targeted misinformation campaigns. I mean, you're telling me that we could get to a point where we can't even tell if a video of a politician giving a speech is real or fake.
And it's not just politicians. I mean, imagine fake news articles, fake scientific studies, even fake personal messages from friends and family, all of it generated by AI algorithms designed to look and sound completely authentic.
It's like, how do you even begin to fight that? It's like the whole idea of truth goes out the window.
And that's exactly what's so dangerous, because democracy, it relies on an informed electorate. It relies on people being able to trust at least some of what they see and hear. But when you can't even trust your own eyes and ears, well, it undermines the whole system.
So what can we do about it? I mean, this article paints a pretty bleak picture, but surely there's got to be some solutions, some way to fight back against this AI-powered disinformation machine.
There are things we can do, but it's going to require a multi-pronged approach. One thing this article emphasizes is the importance of regulation.
Oh boy, regulation. Everyone's favorite topic.
Yeah, I know, right? But it's important. And it's not just about stifling innovation. It's about setting some ground rules, some ethical guidelines for how AI is developed and deployed, especially when it comes to things like political advertising and social media.
So like maybe some kind of AI truth squad
Mm,
or fact-checking algorithms that can weed out the fakes.
Those are possibilities. But it's also about educating people about the risks of AI-generated misinformation, teaching them how to be more critical thinkers, how to spot the red flags of a deepfake or a bot-generated tweet.
So basically, we need to up our game as a society. We need to be smarter, more vigilant, more discerning about the information we consume.
Exactly. And it's not just about us as individuals either. It's about demanding more transparency from the companies that are developing these AI systems, holding them accountable for the ways in which their technology is being used and abused.
Because right now it does feel like the Wild West out there.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the good that AI can do, there's also this huge potential for harm. And it seems like every day there's a new headline about some new AI breakthrough or some new AI-related scandal.
And that's why it's more important than ever to be having these conversations, to be thinking critically about the implications of AI, and to be demanding that our leaders and policymakers take this issue seriously.
Because this isn't just some abstract technological issue. This is about the future of our society, our democracy, our very way of life.
And that's what makes this whole AI thing so fascinating and so terrifying at the same time, because it has the potential to change everything. And it's up to us to decide what kind of future we want to create with it.
That's a pretty good note to end on, I think. So to sum up, if you're not already thinking about AI, you should be. Because it's not coming. It's already here. And it's only going to get more powerful, more pervasive, and more consequential in the years to come.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay curious. Because the future of AI is still being written, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
That's it for this deep dive into the world of AI. We hope you learned something new, maybe had your mind blown a little, and most importantly, that you're leaving here with more questions than answers. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.